Morning everybody, welcome to Midlife Travel Tales. We are Dane and Cindy. We're about to embark on a trip around Southeast Asia for a long period of time. But today's title is 10 tips for planning your epic adventure. Things we've learned along the way, things we've learned from previous trips, and we'll probably learn more and more as we go on today. So welcome to our channel. Please like and subscribe. That'll be great. Share to your friends. And here we go.
Okay, so number one is banking. Okay, very, very important. So the first thing you need to check is that your banking cards do not expire while you're off traveling.
Because banking is all about money. And if you don't have money and you don't have access to money, you're in real trouble.
You can't do anything. So first thing, check your expiration dates. Like me, mine would expire when we go, so I have to apply for new cards before we leave, so at least I don't have that problem.
Also, when you do your online banking, you also have to let your bank know so they know they can in advance prepare that you're going to do these transactions from overseas and that. So it's very, very important. And another point of it is to have spare bank cards. So if one gets swallowed, friends of ours recently went over, one of their bank cards got swallowed by the machine, and they had a bit of a problem. So take a few spare bank cards if you can, and that'll help it lots and lots.
You don't want to be left with no cards and no money.
In a foreign country. Yeah.
So another very important thing is to change your OTP from SMS to email. So that you can still do your online banking and you'll just receive your OTPs via email. Very important.
Okay. And number 2 is passports. Very, very, very important. Okay.
Again, check your expiration date. Don't be caught with a passport that's about to expire or going to expire while you're away. Yeah,
especially when you're going on a long trip like us. You don't want to, now it's 6 months, because 6 months is usually the cutoff time. But suddenly you're overseas for 4 or 5 months, and then you end up in a situation like that where you've got to try and renew your passport in a foreign embassy or something like that. It gets quite tricky.
And another thing is to make photocopies of your passport to take with you. I've just made about 4 copies for each of us of our passports. And that way, when you apply for visas or whatever, you don't have to try and quickly find somewhere to go and make photocopies. You've got the photocopies with you, and that's much easier.
And possibly leave a copy with family or friends back home as well. So if it does get lost or something, at least they can send you a copy of your passport if your luggage or whatever gets stolen or just lost.
Another thing I did here as well is to get a digital photo. So have a passport photo uploaded on your laptop, so that for e-visas, it makes it a lot easier if you need to apply for an e-visa.
Yeah, rather than to try and get it done in a country where you're battling with the language and all of that, which does happen. Okay, are we moving on? Number 3 is international driver's license. Another important part of the whole process.
Yeah, so make sure that we're definitely going to get an international driver's license before we leave home. So we'll have that. We just need to check how long that actually lasts for.
I think it's about 6 months.
Yeah. But you can also, where we're going in Thailand, we have found out we can get driver's licenses while we're in Thailand for like a bike, because Dane doesn't have a bike license, so he can do one there if we want to.
Yeah, so that's really handy so wherever you're going, just find out what are the rules about, especially if it's long travel and you need things like that, because some places you might have a car license, but you're not allowed to ride a bike if you don't have a proper bike license as well. So very, very important. Also, on your actual driver's license for your home country, if it is an expiration, does have expiration dates like we do in South Africa, check up on those, possibly renew that as well before you go. And number 4 is, and you get to say it, my honey,
vaccination cards. So make sure you have your vaccination cards. The right way. And also, I have heard, which we are doing, is to make photocopies of your digital vaccination card that you have on your laptop. I've made a couple of copies of that, especially like for going for visas and things. You might need it. So always handy to have.
Yeah, look, different countries have different rules still since after COVID and that. There are a few that we're wanting to go to that we know that you do have to show your vaccination card. So just be aware of the rules and regulations of different countries. You don't want to be over there and you've got a problem. So rather prepare all the stuff before you go, because there's so much that's going to be out of your control once you're there. And that's going to stress you out. So try and get rid of all the stress before you go. Okay.
And I think if you haven't had a vaccination, you'll have to just have a PCR test if that country requires it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And the next one, quite an important one for us old fogies, is
medical insurance.
Okay, we keep bringing this one up. I think our previous video we also mentioned medical insurance.
Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea not to have medical insurance.
Yeah.
You do run quite a great risk then. So our medical aid covers us for emergencies for 3 months while we're overseas, and then it comes to an end.
Yeah.
So if we're staying longer than that, then we need to get a medical insurance over there, which I've already done a lot of research on, and we've pretty much decided on one that we're going to use when our medical insurance expires.
Yeah, and it covers things like falling off your motorbike and things like that, which can happen. Stuff happens. So
especially in Thailand and Vietnam.
It's probably a bit of wisdom anyway. So let's move on. And number 6 is, let me get it, see if I can get it. Cell phones. Your cell phone contract and your cell phones.
Okay, again, check when your contract expires. If you have a contract, not prepaid, make sure that you know when your contract expires and and decide what you're going to do about that. You're going to keep the contract, you're going to downgrade, or whatever you're going to do. So you need to look into that before you leave, which is what we've done. And when we get there, we'll just get a SIM card.
Top up and go kind of SIM card.
For while we're there.
Pay as you go. We're keeping one of the contracts of our cell phones going here, just so for WhatsApp and things like that, just staying in contact with family and things, so we don't have to change numbers and that. So we're going to keep the one card going that we can use in Wi-Fi, and then we just get the foreign card as well. Okay. And then we're moving on to number 7.
Yeah. Visas. Okay, so you need to know if you need a visa. Very important. It's no good rocking up at some country and suddenly realize, oops, I should have got a visa.
Yeah.
So for us, for South Africans, we can enter into Thailand visa exempt for 30 days. So we don't need a visa to start off with. But you might need a visa. So you need to check what country you're coming from and what visas you need.
Yeah, so just the one time we needed a transit visa. We were in an airport already about to climb on our aeroplane. And we didn't realize that this country, it was in fact the United Kingdom, needed transfer visas from South Africans. We literally had to book another flight in the airport. Otherwise, our whole holiday would have been gone. And that was just from lack of understanding of visas.
And that was just to be in transit. We weren't even leaving the airport.
Yeah, and it never happened before. We'd been through the UK before, but this time you suddenly needed a UK transit visa. And yeah,
that cost us 2 double air tickets.
Yeah, so we paid double air tickets. You learn the hard way. Okay. This is my section. Number 8 is plan your destination. So we know where we're going to initially. From there, we're all going to fly by the seat of our pants and enjoy ourselves. But we know exactly what places we do want to see in the different countries. So we'll also learn some places from fellow travelers and as you go along. But we've got a broad outline already. We've got a map on Google Interactive Maps. We spoke about it before. I'll probably do a short on it or something like that. And it's great that you can, in fact, identify the places you want to go. You can put your information in. You can put why you're going there. You can a whole lot of things. There's different about historical, about the border crossings, which are the best border crossings. Learn all of that stuff before you go. So if you need to get into Cambodia, find out the best border crossing to Cambodia, to Laos, to find out information. Okay, if I go to this city, what are the top 10 sites in that city? So an interactive planning before you go is really, really helpful, just to make your whole trip far more enjoyable and far less stress-free.
I think that would be a good video for you to share with people how to do that.
I think I'm going to do
an interactive video.
Okay, this is your one because I got to stand up.
Very important is our luggage, and we have learnt a lesson on this one already.
Can I tell you, the last time we went to Thailand, I dragged Cindy's suitcase. This was only for 2 weeks, and I dragged this huge suitcase around, and she didn't even use most of the clothes.
Not even half.
Never mind that one. I also dragged this huge one around. So I looked like a pack mule. I developed muscles where I didn't know I had muscles. So, and we didn't even use half the clothes in this one. So we have changed our whole packing too. We're going to a much more minimalist way.
Now we've got 2 little suitcases. In fact, you can hold them both up at the same time.
Okay, well this is great. I can my bicycle. Get something for there. Bicep curls with these. So we're going to use these 2 little suitcases. Depending on how things go, we might even make this smaller. And also very handy, we bought 2 backpacks, about what are they, 35 and a 40 litre?
35 kg, yeah, and a 40,
40 litres.
40
So,
litre,
yeah. So these are really handy as well. If you're going to go hiking, you can just use one of these. And we're going to try and see how much luggage we can use, how little. And as we go along, hopefully we're getting rid of luggage rather than adding it.
Hopefully you can just go down to carry on only, which we see a lot of people do. We're a little bit, not quite there yet, but we hopefully will get there.
We'll get there, yeah. We still need some things.
Yeah.
Hey, my honey.
We still need some.
Still need some shoes and things like that. Okay, and our last point, and I hope this video has been really helpful, is the 10th thing is accommodation.
Yeah, you need to make sure you've booked a place for when you arrive there, because a lot of the airlines need to have proof of where you're going to be staying when you arrive in the country you're going to. So we've booked for our first week when we arrive in Thailand, and then once we're there, we're going to scout out the territory and decide where we're going to book for a month.
So we kind of got a strategy going that you can do our first few days through an Airbnb or a Booking.com or one of those booking things. But we've also discovered that on Facebook Marketplace and all these different places, you can in fact pick up far cheaper accommodation for a longer period of time. So we're going to get to a place first, spend 2 nights or 3 nights there, find cheaper accommodation and use that accommodation for a longer period of time. Because otherwise, you don't need to spend what you spend.
And we'd rather see where we're going to be staying for a month than book somewhere and then we realize, actually, no, this is not where we want to be.
And we've made a huge mistake and we're unhappy and all we want to do is move on, but because of our budget, we can't. And we don't want to be trapped in this adventure. We want to enjoy this.
Yeah. So I think we'll do that whenever we go to another country. We'll just book for a couple of days first and then find where we're going to stay for a month.
Well, any place. So even if we're moving towns in Thailand, we're going to do exactly that. Spend 1 or 2 nights and then just find accommodation when we get there.
Yeah.
I hope this video has really been helpful. I hope you've enjoyed it. We quite enjoyed making them. The house packing is carrying on, so we will eventually be packed up.
Yeah.
And please remember to like and subscribe and have an awesome day.
Yeah, and enjoy following our epic adventure.
Yeah. Cheers, man.
Bye.
Bye.